So you've probably seen numbers. I mean, if you haven't, that's kind of concerning, but what I'm trying to say is that numbers are made of something called bases. And you've probably seen them everywhere. And in this video, we're going to be covering bases and why they're useful. So let's get started. What if I told you that the number 10 is completely made up by us? We only think counting stops at 9 because of a biological accident. Humans have 10 fingers, so that's why the base 10 is called our default system. But what's a base? A math base is just a packing rule. Think of it like grocery store boxes. In base 10, your boxes only hold 10 items max. You count from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 9. And once you hit 10, you pack them into one box and leave 0 loose items. That's why we write 10 as 1, 0. But you can change the box size. For example, in base 8, your boxes only hold 8 items. So if you try to pack 9 apples in base 8, you still have one box because there's 8 items in there. But now you have one apple left over. So we write that as 1, 1. So we write 9 in base 10 as 1, 1 in base 8. But this is not 11. This just means that there's one box of 8 apples, and this is one apple left over. You just packed, it's the same number, 9 and 1, 1 in base 8 are still the same number. You just pack them differently. And that's what bases are. They're just boxes that can hold a certain amount of items. For example, in base, let's say, base 7, they can only hold 7 items before you have to pack them up and leave the loose items over. So we've learned what bases are and why base 10 is the default. But how are the other bases useful? So I'm going to give you 2 bases that are incredibly useful and you have probably used in your daily life. So the first one is called base 2. Don't think you've heard of it? Well, base 2 is also known as binary code. And if you don't know what binary is, it's just a series of zeros and ones, since in base 2, the only digits that exist are zeros and ones. And what it's used for is computers. It translates everything you do, like when you click, when you type, when you even move your cursor, into ones and zeros, which are basically instructions for the computer to move the cursor, type the letter, or, for example, if you have touchscreen, then click on something. And the reason that this works is because the zeros can be interpreted as off, and the ones can be interpreted as on. And using this system of off and on, we can create complex systems that translate into instructions for the computer. So without base 2, we couldn't have made computers. The second base we're going to talk about is base 16, also known as hexadecimal, which I will not be writing out fully. So what hexadecimal is it's used for links, like when you click on a link like a YouTube video or a random Facebook post. since there are so many links in the world, we can't exactly use base 10 since the link is only a certain amount of digits, and there's only so far that you can go before there's no other numbers left in base 10. So what they did is that they used base 16, where instead of just stopping at 10, sorry, no, not 10, instead of just stopping at 9, they went into letters. So it's just A for 10, B for 11, C for 12, D for 13, and E for 14. So it just goes 9 and then A, B, C, D, E. Yes, we are going the alphabet because we can't find any more digits. So with this, there are so many more links available that it is more than enough to have all the links in the world have one number due to hexadecimal. So without hexadecimal, there would only be a very limited amount of links. But now you can create any link you want and you can go to any link you want using hexadecimal. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you can understand more about bases now. If you liked the video, you can like, comment your feedback, or subscribe. See you in the next video.